you learn what not to do. You learn by the mistakes that you make. The negative impacts, they're way more aha moments for me than any of the good that's come out. Make your mistakes, and hopefully don't make the big ones that you can't recover from, but don't be afraid to make them and just learn from them.
All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of High Stakes with Steve Rozenberg. This one I am remote, so you don't see the background of the fancy studio, but the guest I have today can relate because he is someone who audibilizes probably not only in business but in life, so I thought it'd be great just to have him on and just get it on. So we talk about on the show about the who you are mentally, who you need to become to be that successful person. And I think it's so important that we have to realize that what we do is not always a reflection of who we are. Sometimes it is, but a lot of times it's not. And sometimes we're all trying to figure out that, that yellow brick road path we're trying to walk down. My buddy, Grady Ashley, is on today, and he's got an interesting job. I think it's freaking awesome in the roofing industry, what he does. Just got a huge promotion. Obviously, with storms popping off right now and everything and the whole world kind of imploding it from hail, it seems like at this time of year, I thought it'd be great to have him on, listen to him, and just get an understanding of what he goes through. So, Grady, thanks for being here, man. I appreciate it, brother.
Absolutely, man. Glad to be here.
So tell everyone kind of what you do and how you're in the roofing industry and what your role is.
Sure. I'll do the cliff notes because the story is it's about 14 hours probably if I talk fast. Recently just got the nod to be a branch manager at roofing distribution. It's an insane job. I can't believe I agreed to it, but it's managing people, inspiring people to do the best every day, trying to get the paperwork done, the sales done, just motivate people to be the best they can be. And I'm freaking stoked just because I've been on the sales side for the last few years. It's really cool to kind of take what I've learned there and give that to other people. So just finding ways to say yes every day, all the time, no matter what.
So let me ask you this: when it comes to being who you are and being that person, did you have to figure out who the next person was? Who's the next Grady that you had to step into because this is an important role. I know you're kind of downplaying it. It's a pretty important role of what you do. And there's a lot of people involved, and people are humans, and humans have emotions. And, then you're dealing with maybe some storm industry stuff, which is, it's like nothing happens, and then it's just a bombarding of people. Did you have to change a little bit about who you were to step into this role?
Yeah, of course. That's actually probably the biggest challenge because when you're in sales for yourself, your job is to have everybody believe in you, like you, want to help you. You have to be that ultimate. I feel like the word chameleon is dirty because people take that as maybe you have to be unauthentic to be a chameleon, which I disagree with completely. Staying true to your core values and being a chameleon is still a skill. And now I have to be that type of person while being a leader. I'm not just here to be your buddy. I'm here to lead you. And if you are ineffective as a quote unquote soldier, I can't have you on this team being detrimental to our goals, which is to be number one in the world at everything.
Have you had, we'll say, tough conversations with people that you've been cohorts with or friends with that now you've got to step into that role and say like, hey man, you got to respect the position and this is what I need you to do. Have you had to have those conversations with people?
Yes, sir. Yeah. When I said sir, just then I immediately felt regret because I don't want you to kick my ass. I just do that with everybody, even if you're 25. So, yes, absolutely. And I do feel that those went well, and maybe that's just being an idiot, but I do feel like those have had pretty good responses to them because when I talk to somebody from that place, I always deploy empathy for, hey, I understand we had this type of relationship before, but if you can communicate to somebody not as a dictator or an authoritative. Like I'm just literally trying to tell you what I need from you so that you can succeed. Therefore, we all succeed. I'd really feel like some people take a management position to their head and allow it to be part of their ego. And if you can remove ego from that process and just give them clear direction, 9 times out of 10, I feel like it goes pretty well.
Yeah, listen, I'm a big believer. I don't think leaders are hired. I think they're created. And I think that I don't think we're born good leaders. I think we become good leaders based on our environment, based on our education, based on a lot of factors. Um, have you did you have to take any classes, learn anything, prior experience in life that got you to where you are today, or do you think you just fell into it and then you're just going to kind of keep falling forward, or how do you take that role?
No, that's a great question. On paper, if anyone was to look at my training resume, they would assume that I'm probably the greatest manager of all time because I've had in the distribution world, I've been trained by we'll call it the big three. I've actually gone through and completed management training at all three of the big companies. So I don't know how many people can say that. Maybe that's not a skill that you would look at saying that's a good thing because I've been at all three companies, but I started in the business at 16 years old. I'm 43 today. Distribution's all I've done my entire life. So I've had a lot of training, but what I've actually found more successful isn't necessarily the X's and O's of distribution. It's guys like yourself who I've gotten to sit and listen to the way you lead, and then not having the arrogance to say I don't need that advice, or I take a bullet or two and say that's amazing. I have to use that.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm fortunate enough that I get to coach quite a few people, a
Mm-hmm.
couple hundred people. But what I always tell people is there's no silver bullet. It's 100 BBs, and it's 100 BBs all the time. And it's the brick by brick. You're gonna take one thing from me, one thing from someone else. That's your journey. It's not my journey. Like when I give you something, you're gonna take that and you're gonna go, this brick goes here based on my life. Someone else may say that brick's gonna go down here. Or that's gonna be a finishing brick. But I think my opinion is that we're all on a journey. So I guess with you being in that journey of who you are, um, was there any pivotal decisions that you can think of that designed the Grady that I'm looking at today? Like anything that you did in high school, college, military, either good or bad, that steered you to who you are today?
Yeah, I can't pinpoint a movement or a decision, but I believe what it is. It took me probably until my mid 30s. I kind of wish there's a lot of young leaders in this industry, just industry specific, but it's not just distribution, all jobs. You learn what not to do. I feel like you learn by the mistakes that you make, and the negative impacts. They're way more aha moments for me than any of the good that's come out. It's just been like, oh, that was a fumble. How can I be intelligent enough to not do that again? So what I encourage younger people in the leadership positions is just make your mistakes, and hopefully don't make the big ones that you can't recover from, but don't be afraid to make them and just learn from them and don't do that again. But when you get a person that comes to you and says, you inspired me to do this, and that moment that you spent with me changed my, like, having humans come to me and say that I made an impact on their life. And as those started stacking up, that's kind of where I get emotional because not to segue, but the other day an employee at one of our locations told me she was quitting, and she's like, I'll just give you a heads up, I gave him a 2-week notice. And I was like, no way. And she's like, yeah, like, you're leaving my store, da 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 da. I don't want to be here anymore. And I started crying. As a man, even my kids haven't seen me cry, which I'm embarrassed to admit that. But I started crying, and she's like, I'm kidding. I'm not I'm not actually leaving. And I was like, oh shit. And then she was like, I'm moved that you were actually emotionally upset that I was leaving. And I was like, well, yeah, you're a huge part of the team. Like I was distraught, That, yeah, not to ramble. It just, just feeling emotional connections with people and getting them to not just feel like a number at the company around you is it's such a challenge, but that's the key to me to being successful is having people believe in the shit you talk, they believe that you're walking that walk. I think people will kind of move mountains with you, not for you.
So let me ask you this. When you were coming up in the industry, would you have hired yourself?
Hell no.
What traits did you have or not have that made you who you were, that you had to change to be who you are today?
Well, for me specifically, my father was a industry legend, right? He'd been around forever, so my last name was enough for them to be like, okay, well, your dad's an amazing employee, so we'll give you a shot. But in my younger years, I was doing the job to get a paycheck. It was just a job, like I don't know what else to do. My goal was to be in the WWE, and clearly that didn't work out. So this was just a job, and I don't know. I can't remember what year it clicked, but I would say probably about 26, 27 years old. I realized that this is not a joke, and I needed to work harder than everybody else around me to be a force, to be a game changer, and that's been an uphill battle that I feel like I'm just now getting it figured out. I know I have a lot to learn, but I'm 43 and I'm just now figuring it out.
Yeah. When you look at the younger generation today that are the next Grady's of the industry, are you nervous? Are you excited? Are you like, fuck, we got a problem coming our way? Are you like, I see something in them? Because I honestly think that the kids today, I think that there's a lot of amazing kids out there.
Hell yeah.
I think there are hard workers. I think there's some that are very hard workers. I don't know that they're positioned correctly. I don't know that they're talked to. You can't talk to your parents the way you talk to your kids, and vice versa. Different generations, different thoughts, different ideologies. How would you tell someone that is at whatever business industry it is? How would you get them to say, hey, look, this is how you need to talk to these young people to inspire them? Because I believe people come to work for a paycheck, but they stay for the leadership, or they leave because of lack thereof. So if you don't have a vision, if you're not inspiring people, if you're not the one who is driving success, they're there for a paycheck, which means they'll leave for another paycheck. How would you tell leaders today to talk to we'll say the younger generation, to not have people there for a paycheck?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say I'm excited because there are a section of leaders who write off the younger generation as, incapable, or they need their cell phones and whatever. I definitely try to keep hip to the lingo, like bussin' and no cap and on God, whatever language they use to get fired up. But no, I think it's in our DNA as humans that we want to be led. It's finding out how to tap into that, because they all have it, even the difficult ones. They want to be motivated, they want to be inspired, and they're all done differently. Some people want great job, some people want you to get out of their way, some people want to have adrenaline injected into their veins daily, and you have to figure out how to do that as a boss. But once you figure that out, God, I mean, it's awesome, because these young guys and girls they're talented in different ways that we aren't, and putting them in the position to win is the challenge. But if you can have those conversations and figure out what it is they need, and be empathetic enough to give them those tools, dude, they do some crazy shit. I'm excited to see it happen.
Let me ask you this. Do you think, from your experience of what you've done and who you work with, do you think everyone is a good salesperson?
No.
What do you think defines a good salesperson?
Well, there's a lot, but the common characteristic that I see amongst the ones who are successful are and it sounds so generic, but it's just the ability to listen. You know, the just listen. So if someone will speak to you long enough, you can get them to talk long enough. You can find out what it is that person actually needs, and then if you can just follow through on that ability, like just I I didn't come in there and talk about myself the whole time. You listen to this customer, they'll tell you what they need, and just go deliver.
Yeah, and I think that I won't say I disagree with you, but I have a different stance. I think everyone is good at sales because they sell themselves on the fact that they're no good. So they did the
Ah,
ultimate sales job on themselves.
yeah.
Um, with that being said, I think that salespeople in general, like, and the thing is when I say sales, I never say money. I'm talking like how to convince your wife that you want Mexican and she wants Italian. How to sell your kids on cleaning their room.
Yeah.
How to convince your clients that they should use you or your employees to see your vision. So I think we're all good in sales in different perspectives, right? I think it's a
Hmm.
craft. I think you have to learn it. And either listen, I think in any conversation, either you are selling or you are getting sold, right? I think that's the reality, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people have a false belief about money because when I say sales, the first things people think is money. I'm like, I never said money. I just said sales. And
Right.
and so let me ask you a question. Have you ever had or do you have or have you had like a false belief around money and the power of it?
Yeah. I mean, let's say rewind back to when you're in Sunday school, assuming you went. Money's evil, right? It's I hate to sound like a jerk, but I feel like as you get older, you realize maybe that's just something poor people say, right? Uh, you try to be successful, try to get the things you want in this world without it. Yeah, I think you can find happiness without money, but you being someone who's seen all kinds of different parts of the world, I mean, uh, not having it, not understanding the importance of it, it's it's very necessary.
100%. And I think, I try to, and I think we're all taught that money is so all powerful when it's just a tool to exchange something of value. I
Hmm.
think that has more value than the money I have. So I'm going to exchange my money for the value. If someone's getting a roof, they would rather have a roof over their head that's not leaking than the money in their pocket. So they're exchanging value, right? And
Yeah.
we have to sell on value. And I am a huge believer that, if we sell on value and we're selling on our principles and our morals, there's a lot to be said with that. When you've gone through and listen, I think we've all had these moments and tough times and mental, head cases. When you're down, when you have those, we all get into the dump, right? We all get into that trough of life and the deep dark valleys. What do you normally do to get out of it? Like, how do you walk yourself out so that you're not having this, pity party for, years and years and years?
God, that's a great question. It's it's such an important question because I feel like everybody around my circle, um, there's so much negative to focus on. I mean, so much. You could pick. I mean, God bless us. We're alive right now. We have the ability to actually perform actions. But when you get low, um, my mind changes. Usually, it's legacy. I like as I mentioned, my dad was such a big deal in the industry. I want to outperform him, not on a success level, but just a legacy level to where he was such a good man. I'm like, can I be a better man than he was? Which obviously I feel like no way, but that's my
Sure.
north star. And then my kids. My wife is a fantastic human being who maybe it's once a month, maybe it's once every couple weeks. I'll get a text out of nowhere that says, thank you for providing this life for me and our kids. That we're able to do the things we're able to do. And if I get that text, it's just like I shoot out of it. I'm like, I can do 100 more things today. Fuck it, let's go.
Yeah, it's like a bull out of the chute, huh? It's like that's
Yes,
all you needed to go.
yes,
So look. I think we've all had days where we felt like quitting. We felt like it's just we start questioning: is it worth it? Am I should I keep doing this? what pulls you through when you have? I'm not even going to ask if you have those days because we'd all be lying if we said we
Yeah.
didn't. So
Yeah.
let's just assume we do. Like, what pulls you through those tough days when you're thinking of quitting and going fuck this? I can go get a job and just not have the stress or the headache, or go work at Chick-fil-A and be easy.
Yeah.
What pulls you through?
Just the success. I mean, when I say success, it's like the desire to be great. I feel, the term NPC, right? We're surrounded by them, and it's okay. Like I used to, as I've gotten older, I would have pity for someone who has no ambition. But then you start realizing it's part of the world we live in. Some people are just here to get by, and how to navigate around people who are, that's like, you have an employee that says, boss, I just want to come in, do my job, and get the hell out of here. I don't think that's a negative for that person. That's what they want. What I want is to impact the world in such a way that 1, 5, 25 people, who knows, at the end of my life said, that guy changed my life. That guy gave me inspiration to be more than just 9 to 5. I want him to be great too. So it's just walking the walk, leading people, having people look up to me. It's I used to find it awkward, and I do downplay my role a lot of times because I used to think playing it off as not a big deal was a humble thing to do. But now I'm learning more of it's an honor. It's a blessing to have the opportunity to give people motivation. So that's my why. That's how I get out of it.
So let's that's a great segue because I want to get into like family, right? And family and freedom. Like, what what would your family unit as a unit? How would you describe family freedom?
Family freedom. Well, I think a lot of time for me it goes in comparison. When I recently did a customer trip to the Dominican Republic, and you're driving to the resort, and you're looking out the window, and everybody's chit chatting and drinking and whatever, and I'm sitting there looking out the window, admiring the way people live, and you see this family walking on the side of the street with no shoes, minimal clothing, carrying bags, and I haven't seen a store in a mile. And I'm like, these people have at least walked a mile, I'm assuming, unless there's a store somewhere in the middle of this jungle.
Right.
And the thing I notice is they look happy. This is what they know, and they're getting by with that. Does that make my family better than theirs because I can drive in a car for 3 minutes and pick up my groceries? Like, no way. The family freedom is being able to operate in this world as a family together, knowing that you're together and like we are a unit. I mean, it's all relative, I guess, but as long as we're together and have each other's backs, I mean, God, it just, I feel like we are a unit. We do shit together. We talk to each other. We're able to air out our dirty laundry together. That's freedom.
Yeah. No, I love it, and I think that's winning, right? I think
Yeah.
that's winning in the family because if Grady wins and the family loses, it's I'm not a big believer in the word balance. I don't think that really exists, but I don't think you guys are in sync, and I don't think you're in alignment. Alignment is a better word I use,
Yeah.
and I think that sometimes we're not in alignment. Are you? Are there legacy decisions that you're making for your family? You're an entrepreneur. You've got the shirts behind you. You've given me the shirts. I freaking love them, by the way.
Thanks, man.
But are there things that you're doing to build that legacy for the, like you said, your dad was a legacy. He was known in the industry. Are there things that you're starting to think, even though you're 43, you're young, but are there things you're starting to think of as legacy decisions?
Yeah. Probably not until recently, though, getting more about that because last year it was one of those things. You remember the derecho that came through Houston?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that probably wreaked havoc on whatever plans you had.
Yeah.
I was in my kitchen and I'm texting people, "Hey, where'd you hear? Got some roofs ripped off, all all kinds of crazy damage going on. It's kind of like a hype event in the roofing business. But I noticed my Apple Watch said 130 something beats a minute, and I was like, yeah, I feel crazy. That's weird. Like, I guess I'm stressed. I don't know what's going on. And then it's 140, and then 145, and I'm not the healthiest guy in the world, but that's not normal for me.
Right.
And I just kind of was like, well, let me get off my phone for a second, just kind of take a deep breath. So I went and laid down. It's just continued to stay elevated for no reason whatsoever. And kind of a quick funny story. I was leaning on my elbow, so that's why my arm went numb. But if you
Oh,
listen to enough stuff, you're like, my arm's numb. Oh my god. Oh my god.
yeah.
We called an ambulance, and I remember sitting in the back of the ambulance. I have no idea what's going on. I just feel like maybe I'm having a heart attack. I don't know. That was the first moment in my life that I felt invincible, or not invincible. Fast forward, they check everything out, and there's nothing. We have no idea what was going on. The doctors can't find. The heart looks great. There's no blockages. There's nothing. You're not having a heart attack, you idiot. Just drink more water, calm down, and it more or less sounded like a stress-induced event. So since that moment, I have been trying to really leave more of the legacy piece that you're saying with my kids, teaching them the the importance of their word, right? Like their honor, what your name means. Like, hey, Ashleys aren't pieces of shit. Okay, we don't take from our
Right.
friends, or
Right.
we don't lie. We tell the truth, even if it hurts. I'm trying to leave more legacy with the way they act, because none of them know what they want to do for a career, which drives me nuts. But it is what it is. Just the honor and integrity piece. That's where I'm trying to kind of work with them more.
Yeah, and I think that's awesome, man. I think that one thing I've learned is, kids spell love Time. That's how they spell love. Is they just want your time,
Yeah,
and sometimes we may think we're giving them time while we're on our phone because we're physically near them, but we're not there with them physically. So I think that's a challenge people have. Um, one thing I've learned too is we always think that we're here to teach our kids, like you had said, be responsible, do the right thing, tell the truth. And it wasn't until my son passed that I thought to myself, I wonder if kids are here to teach us something. And
God,
we never
amen.
think about it going the other way. And I think my son, part of him being here in my life while he was, I think a lot of it was him to teach me to slow down and enjoy life a little bit more. And I just think that we never think of it going the other way. We always think we're projecting to them, and there's always a lesson. A lesson goes both ways. It's like a bilateral, and we always think it's one way. I'm here to teach you. I've been on this earth longer. I'm smarter, and I just think about that. Like, are there things that we could learn from our kids? I mean, they're in school. They're in school. Like, they're more current than we are with fucking world things going on. But we never really ask them, "What's your take on that? What do you think?" And so
Yeah,
it's just a different perspective that I think sometimes it's valuable to sometimes, as you said, two ears, one mouth. Sometimes it's good to listen and just hear what people have to say. And even though they're 10 years old, they've got stuff to say, and I never really thought about that till after my son had passed.
that makes me think of a question for you. I mean, I hate to ask, because
Yeah.
it just made me think of it. But the one thing, especially in this new role, it's the leaving the house at 6, and the store closes at 5, and then because of all the conversations and this stuff, all your work isn't done, right? And you're like, okay, well, I'll just stay for 2 more hours or 3 more hours and knock out some stuff. And now it's 8, and you got the hour drive home, and your kids see you for a second as you go shower and go to bed, and you feel that you give too much to the job, the career, whatever. So is a week okay? Is it 2 months while you get set up? Is it 6 months? Is it the first 2 years I'm going to grind? You're trying to find the work-life balance that doesn't exist. What's your advice to people about how much you should give to the job, and then how much you give to yourself and your family?
Look, I don't believe there's no such thing as balance, but I think there's alignment. And I think that it's kind of like water on a table. You've got to put boundaries. And it's the power of saying no. So when you're saying yes to your job, you are saying no to someone, something, somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a three-legged stool. You have your health, you have your wealth, and you have your relationships. If you're saying yes to your wealth, the stool becomes uneven because one leg becomes longer than the other. So the power of no, sometimes we equate more, doing more, spending more time with more value. But that's not true. It's not the quantity of time you spend at work, it's the quality that you spend.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to, I would say it's the power of putting the boundaries on it, saying, hey guys, at 5 o'clock, I'm done. So we have to get everything in at 5 because I'm done. That is if I'm saying yes to you, I am saying no to my family, and I'm not willing to say no to my family because I love you guys, but on my deathbed, I want my family around me. I don't want my business associates around my bed saying, we spent all the time with him.
Yeah.
So I really think that if you put boundaries on it, people will respect it. We just have that guilty feeling saying, man, I feel weird not doing this because I should be there more. But the thing is that is an employee mentality, and you are trading time for money. They didn't put you in this position to squeeze as many hours out of you. They put you in this position because of your knowledge and your experience. You don't have to spend 14, 15, 16 hours giving it. It's kind of like when you turn the screw and you charge someone $10,000 and they're like, you just turned the screw, and they're like, 20 years of learning what screw to turn is what you're paying for.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
the reason they put you into this position is your years and years and years of experience. Not saying, hey, Grady, we want 45 hours in one day. So I think it's your perception is you are trading time for money. They are trading your knowledge for money. So you may have a misalignment of why they hired you. But again, when you are saying yes to them, you are saying no to someone, and that someone is your family.
Yeah. That's great advice. It's just crazy. I feel like that's the thing I see across all industries everyone struggle with is how much to give. Because I have learned through others, most businesses will take whatever you give it. There's no limit. There's no bottom.
Totally, man. They will chew you up and spit you out. And you know what? The machine will keep turning. If
Mm-hmm.
you leave and you get spit out the back, there'll be another Grady in there next month because the
Absolutely.
business needs it.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is I've coached thousands of entrepreneurs. The power of no is the most successful tool you have. It's not the power of yes. It's the power of no. And it's a matter of saying, listen, my time is just as valuable as yours, and my family's time, it's more valuable.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, businesses will respect that more than you realize because they're like, this guy has values. Like, I like this guy. He's putting limits on it. It's like, hey, Mr. Boss, you don't want me calling you up Saturday night with a job issue, do you? No, because you value your time. So do I.
Yeah.
And you want, and the thing is you want your people that see you kind of go, hey man, I'm busting my ass for the time that I'm here. But make no mistake, when it's time to go, I am leaving. But all my stuff will be done. I'm not leaving anything half-assed. I'm wrapping it up, putting a bow on it at the end of the day, and we're done. But that is my non-negotiable because my family is the other part of that leg that's waiting for me.
Yeah.
So the answer is I would say you have to say no more. That's the answer.
Yeah. That's great advice. It's probably I'm known as the approachable guy, nice guy, always positive, and it's I always struggle with that where if I tell somebody no or I don't have time for you, then I'm being an ass, and it's not true, and I know that.
Yeah, they know it, you know it, and they will respect your time more because if you're a hey Grady got a minute guy, hey Grady got a minute, next thing you know, you're spending your time being reactive in your day. You're never being proactive. And you know what, believe it or not, every problem that someone comes to you with, they normally have the knowledge, they have the tools, and they have the ability to fix it themselves. But you are the easy button, and they'll say, I'll just give it to him. And so at some point you go, you know what, enough's enough. No, you figure it out and let me know the answer. If you were in charge of this department, what would you do?
Yeah.
And they'll go, well, I would do this, this, and this. That's a good idea. Why don't you give that a shot and let me know how it works?
Absolutely.
And pretty soon they'll stop coming to you because every time they ask you, that's your answer.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh yeah.
let me a couple questions. Fire round. I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
What is a non-negotiable for you when it comes to success?
Doing something without integrity. So if it's the wrong way to do it, or it's shady, or it's unethical, we're not doing that. 0% chance.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is your current obsession right now, whether it's business or personal? What are you obsessed with?
God. I mean, because this is fire around, like you said. The first thing I thought was my wife's butt. It's weird. I'm
That's good.
43 years old, man. I don't know what's happening, but it's never looked better. And I'm like, you're insane that you keep aging like fine wine. I don't know what's going on with her.
Hey, that's awesome, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, last question. Any books or podcasts or anything that you've done that's changed your life, your adult life, that's changed the way you think or the direction that you're like, man, that was something I will never forget.
Oh my God, yes. I was actually required to read it by my boss. Unreasonable Hospitality.
Huh?
Have you read that one?
I have not. Is it good?
Oh
Obviously.
my, Steve, Steve. Like, do you remember the first time? I'm sure you've read it. Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink.
Yep.
I feel like anyone in our space has read it because it's just whatever. But it was, to me, that book was life changing. But then this one came along, and it kind of shook me to my core because the gist of it is creating an environment so unobtainable of perfection, like no, it can't be done, and he did it. It's like Will Guidara. I can't remember. I apologize if I said his name wrong, but it's the restaurant business, but it's how to translate that to whatever it is we do, where you just set the bar so high, because at the end of the day, most of us are in a service business.
Yeah.
Roofing distribution specifically, you can close your eyes and walk into any of these locations and you kind of already know what they look like. And I read this book and I'm like, oh my God, I'm missing the boat. Like, we could do this so much better. And you go to a car dealership and spend, $75,000 once every 5 years, and they treat you like you're royalty. And I'm like, we have roofers that come in and spend $1 million+ a year. And it's like, hey man, here's your shit. Get your ticket, go out there and wait in the sun and bake and sweat your balls off, and we'll be out there in 10 minutes to get you loaded.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe we're doing this wrong. And that book has got my eyes open where it's like walking in and seeing the Matrix, where I'm seeing the code at the branch and I'm like, oh, I'm about to flip the script on this whole industry. It's happening. I said it here first.
All right, I'm gonna have to listen to it or
It's
read
amazing.
it. Actually,
It's amazing.
cool. All right, Grady. Well, look, brother, I really appreciate your time today. I'm sure the listeners, if somebody wants to just find you or find your gear, because you got some cool gear, you've been kind enough to give me some that I wear all the time. How do they get a hold of you or find you?
Oh, it's awesome, because you'll 9 out of 10 customers will end up on a grilling website looking at spatulas and spray, because there's grill gear, but this is G-Rilla gear, which I'm a terrible marketer. I don't even promote my stuff, but GRillaGearUSA.com.
Love it, brother. Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Grady, thank you so much, man. So for those of you that are listening, if someone needs to hear this message, they want to hear how to get better, share it. Share the podcast. Share the videos. We'll be cutting these up into different clips. If you want to come learn from me directly, I do 2-day events right here in Houston, Texas. I do them every month, and I show you how to become that leader you need to be, how to understand who is your target client, how to go after that target client, get repeat business, and make sure that you are actually being the leader you need to be. Understand how you communicate, how you sell, how you close, and the psychology of buying and selling. So for those of you that want to learn directly from me, I do these every month in Houston, Texas. If you want to hear my podcast, you can go to all the channels or go to my website, steverozenberg.com, ROZENBERG. On behalf of Grady and myself, thank you so much for watching High Stakes with Steve Rozenberg, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.